My name is Elena Voss. I'm 35 now. For 18 years, since I was 17, I spent every Thanksgiving watching my phone light up with photos from my family's cabin in the Adirondacks. My parents, my brother Ethan and his perfect wife and kids, my aunts, uncles, cousins, all of them gathered around the massive stone fireplace my grandfather built with his own hands. Matching plaid blankets, pumpkin pie, laughter that looked so effortless. I was never tagged, never texted, never once asked why I wasn't there. The excuse changed over time. We figured you were busy with school, thought you preferred city life, you never seemed interested. But the truth was simpler and crueler. My mother couldn't stand looking at me because I looked exactly like my father, her first husband. The one she divorced when I was 8 after he couldn't provide the life she deserved. She remarried my stepdad Greg, had Ethan, and slowly rewrote history so the first marriage never happened. And since I carried my dad's dark hair, his sharp jaw, his quiet smile, I became the reminder she couldn't delete. I stopped asking to be included after I was 22. I showed up once unannounced. My mother opened the cabin door, saw me standing there with a duffel bag and hopeful eyes and said, "Elena, this isn't a good time." Behind her, Ethan laughed at something on TV. No one else even looked up. I drove the 6 hours back to Albany that same night and never tried again. Then 2 years ago in March, my grandmother, my dad's mother, the only person who ever really saw me, passed away. I found out from an Instagram story posted by my cousin, a black and white photo of Gran with the caption "Gone but never forgotten." No call, no text. I drove to the funeral in Lake Placid alone, sat in the last pew, and left before anyone could pretend to be surprised I was there. 6 weeks later, a lawyer named Margaret Hale called me. "Your grandmother left instructions that this remain confidential until the estate was settled. She wanted you to have time to process without interference. The cabin, the one my grandfather built, the one my mother had redecorated and claimed as the family legacy, was mine. Valued at $1.8 million, Gran had quietly transferred it into a trust years earlier, naming me sole beneficiary with ironclad language to prevent contests. She knew exactly what she was doing. I didn't tell a soul. For 20 months I waited, paid the taxes quietly, changed the Wi-Fi password remotely, had the locks rekeyed by a discreet locksmith, and updated the security cameras Gran had already installed. Last Thanksgiving they arrived as usual, 4 SUVs pulling up the long Pine Line Drive, kids spilling out first, carrying pies and wine. Everyone talking over each other about how excited they were for the tradition. My mother led the pack, key in hand, already planning who got the master suite. I watched from the kitchen window. When her key didn't turn, she frowned, jiggled it, tried again, nothing. I opened the door. The entire group froze on the porch like someone hit pause. "Elena," my mother's voice cracked on my name. "What, how did you?" "Good evening," I said calmly. "I live here now." Ethan pushed forward. "This is ridiculous. Mom, call the police." "She broke in." "I didn't break in," I replied. "I own it." My mother laughed, sharp, disbelieving. "That's impossible. This was Dad's house. It's been in the family." "Gran left it to me," I said. "Solely to me? The will is public record now if you want to check." I handed her a folder I'd prepared. Certified copy of the will, deed in my name, recent tax receipts, locksmith invoice. She snatched it, scanned the pages, color draining from her face with every line. Greg stepped up. "There has to be a mistake. Margaret would never." "She did," I cut in. "She wrote me a letter explaining why. Would you like to hear it?" Silence. The wind rattled the pines. One of the kids started to cry. I read aloud from the note Gran had left sealed with the lawyer. "Elena, my brave girl, if you're reading this at the cabin, it means you claimed what was always yours. Your mother spent decades trying to erase your father from her life, and in doing so she erased you too. I watched it happen and I was too weak, too afraid of losing her to stop it. That's my failure, not yours. This house was your father's dream before it was anyone's. He built it board by board. You deserve to walk its halls without apology. Fill it with people who choose you. Don't wait for permission anymore." I folded the paper. She knew everything. Every year I wasn't invited, every excuse. She wanted me to have a place that was safe. A place that was mine. My mother's voice was barely a whisper. She was old, confused. She didn't mean she was lucid until the end, I said. Her doctor signed an affidavit confirming it. "The will is bulletproof," Ethan exploded. "This is bullshit. You manipulated her. You waited until she was weak. I visited her twice a month for